Please make sure to retry this question before you watch this video. Question 40 says, for all negative values of k, what is the range of values of 2 to the k? So this is a question where if you are familiar with exponentials, it's going to be pretty simple. But if you are not, there are a few things that you can learn that are going to make this question very easy. So we will go over those. So an exponential has the basic form of some sort of base b to a power x. In this case, our exponential is 2 to the k. So our base is 2 and it's raised to some power k. And we are asked, or we're told that we are looking at all negative values of k, and then what are the possible values of 2k, 2 to the k, if k is negative. So the first thing to know about exponentials is that if they are raised to a negative power, so we can say if we have b to a negative x, this is the same as having 1 over b to a positive x. So we can do this for our function too. If we have 2 to the negative k, that is the same as having 1 over 2 to the k. And when we look at this, we see that we have 2 to the k in the denominator. So as we plug in any value for k, we could say 1, 2, 3. As that value of k gets bigger, our denominator is going to get bigger. Because if k equaled 1, we would have 1 over 2 to the first, which would just be 1 over 2. If we have k equals 2, we would have 1 over 2 squared, which would be 1 over 4, and so on. So as our value of k, which would be negative in this form, but is positive in this form, as that value of k increases, our fraction denominator is going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So our fraction will have a smaller and smaller value in the way that 1 over 8 has a smaller value than 1 over 4. But we could say 2 to the k equals 1 million, and that's going to be some 0.00000 something, but it's still going to be a little bit above 0. So I know that 2 to the negative k is always going to be some amount greater than 0. But because k has to be negative, it means that it always has to be, k needs to be less than 0. And another thing about exponentials is that when they are raised to the 0 power or the 0th power, they equal 1, no matter what the base is. So b to the 0 would equal 1. In this case, our base is 2. 2 to the 0 is also going to equal 1. So because k is negative, it has to be less than 0. So it's always going to be less than 1. And this is the critical takeaway here. So we can eliminate f because as we see from this inequality, 2 to the negative k is always going to be a positive number. So it's also not going to be g, all numbers less than 1, because that would include negative numbers. And it is also not going to be h, because all rational numbers less than 1 would still include negative numbers. So our only answer is j, all positive numbers less than 1. So 2 to the negative k, it can be a nice fraction like 0.5 or decimal, or it can be something crazy like 0.1287, whatever, repeating, going on forever. It is still some number between 0 and 1, so it's going to be a positive number. If this explanation made sense to you, please add this to your worksheet and then do a few AI-generated problems to make sure that you can solve a question exactly like this. And you can add those questions to your worksheet too. If this explanation did not make sense to you and this problem feels too difficult, do not add it to your worksheet. there are a lot of other places that we can get easy points on this test. If you did add this to your worksheet, make sure that you go back 5 and rework the last 5 problems that you added to make sure that you are retaining what you learn as you go.